Hello and welcome to another edition of Uncle Alex's Record Librarium, where we explore some of the records that I've been collecting since the end of the Eisenhower administration. Today I'm going to introduce something called 4AD Friday, which I just made up. If you're not familiar with 4AD, it was a British record label that was started in 1980. It's still going on strong today. And it began with sort of some post-punk, dark wave kind of bands. Nick Cave's first band, The Birthday Party, was on it, and Bauhaus. Some early signings were Cocteau Twins, the Wolfgang Press. By the time I discovered them, it was when I was 17 and I got a job working at Budget Tapes and Records in Yakima, Washington, and I could talk about 4AD for 90 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep this short by talking about only the things I discovered when I first discovered the label. Like I said, I got a job working at Budget Tapes and Records when I was 17, and they had this record in stock, and we put it on the turntable, and it's called It'll End in Tears by This Mortal Coil. And I'd pretty much up to this point been listening to pop music. I like new wave music. I really liked Dead or Alive. You Spin Me Round Like a Record was one of my favorites. But I had never heard anything like this. This is kind of dreamy, otherworldly, beautiful in a different way than the pop music I've been listening to. You can see the artwork too. 4AD had worked closely with 23 Envelope, which was the design studio that did a lot of their covers. And it's also a lot of the artwork on a lot of the releases is sort of artistic and otherworldly. I'm going to do a little collage of some of the album covers that were on 4AD in 1986. And I'm going to go play a little bit of 4AD related music on the piano while I do a collage or montage. Anyway. Here it goes. Anyone recognize it? Anyway, the group This Mortal Coil was sort of a project that the 4AD label founder, Ivo Watts Russell, and co-producer John Fryer put together. It was conceived by Ivo Watts Russell, and what it is kind of a group effort by different musicians from the label, along with some other people that were in bands that weren't on the label. And they all did, some of the songs are covers of really cool songs from the 1960s and 70s, and some are original songs. But on the sleeve, they list each track and then who performs on the track and what band they're from. And so that was kind of an early reference for me to kind of make a list. And what I did was make a list of the bands that were listed there. There were some that Cindy Talk, a singer from Cindy Talk, Cocteau Twins, Dead Can Dance, the Wolfgang Press, Colored Box, Modern English, and I took my list to Tower Records in Seattle, and I basically ran throughout while I walked. I walked throughout the store looking for the bands that were listed on the This Mortal Coil, It'll End in Tears record, and that's kind of where my journey began as a really big fan of 4AD and kind of following everything that they put out and trying to collect everything that they released. So this is the first post of 4AD Friday. This is where it began for me. It'll End in Tears by This Mortal Coil. The song I'm going to feature is called Dreams Made Flesh. It's one that isn't featured probably very often. It's not as singable. You can't really sing along with it, but it's basically the couple that were in Dead Can Dance, singer Lisa Gerrard and Brendan Perry, performing, and it's really haunting. Her vocals are incredible. She's still one of my favorite singers, but Dead Can Dance, that first trip to Tower Records, I picked up the first 2 Dead Can Dance LPs and the 4-track EP that were available at the time, and they were my favorite band for a long time through high school. Anyway, the first time I heard her was on It'll End in Tears, and here's a little bit of the song Dreams Made Flesh. I wonder what people think of it who are hearing it now for the first time in 2026. It was astonishing to me in 1986, but it actually was, this album came out in 1984, but it doesn't sound like 80s music in any typical way. It sounds futuristic and also like it's from 300 years ago. I don't know. I find it fascinating, and I still love listening to it. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear about other people who are interested in 4AD and who have how you discovered them, and what were some of the first favorite bands on the label that you like, and how people found out about 4AD and these bands to begin with. And I also really would like to hear about what people think of it who have never heard of them before and never heard of this mortal Coil and Lisa Gerrard, and what you think of her voice. I love it. It's my favorite. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. And until then, be nice to each other and try not to break any records.